In 1882, a meteorite fell in rural Arkham. It didn't bring life. It brought hunger. A century later, the land is poisoned. Trees grow twisted. Fruit bleeds. And the water, static glitch, the water remembers. Scientists called it extraterrestrial. The locals knew better. Something slept under the soil. And when the now, Ephraim Gardner walks again, his teeth aren't human. And the storm coming tonight, lightning crack, it's not a storm. It's a door. The reservoir flooded its grave. Guncock sound, it woke up angry. The GPS flickered, signal lost, as my truck crawled west of Arkham. The hills here weren't just wild, they were wrong. Valleys choked with trees too thick, their trunks swollen like arteries. No logging crews touched this place. No one stayed long. The locals in Arkham had warned me. Don't survey near the Heath. They muttered about strange days in the 80s, a family gone overnight. Superstitious bullshit, I figured, until I saw it. 5 acres of gray nothing. No grass, no weeds, just powder fine ash that didn't blow in the wind. The trees at its edges were skeletal, bark sloughing off like dead skin. And the well, Christ, the well, its mouth gaped black, the air above it shimmering like heat haze in winter. That's when I noticed the stones. Not rubble, arranged, a spiral, half buried in the ash. And at its center, something glinted. I reached for it, just as the ground moved. Not an earthquake, a pulse. The ash rippled outward, and from the well came a sound like a breath held too long. Then the whispering started. The whispers weren't words. They were vibrations humming up through the soles of my boots. I stumbled back from the well, ash sticking to my sweat like wet cement. The glint in the spiral? A rusted pocket watch, inscribed J. Orne, 1882. Arkham's archives had no record of any Orns, but the old librarian's hand shook when she handed me a cardboard box. Emmy Pierce's estate. The police sealed it after all. You'll see, inside, cassette tapes labeled in shaky cursive. Strange days. It started with the colors. The livestock saw him first, acting up at dusk like the sky was burning. Then the Metzger's boy said the well was singing. We thought he was lying. Then Christ, he wasn't lying. A photo slipped loose. The Metzger family grinning in front of their farmhouse. Behind them, the trees were bent, trunks coiled like noose knots. I played the last tape. Static. Then, it comes up when the stars are right. Ammy's voice cracked. It looks like, no, it wears them. Like skins. The reservoir won't drown it. Nothing will. A final scream. A wet, clicking chitter. My phone buzzed. A text from the survey team. Found bones in the Heath. Human. But the teeth are wrong. The photo of the Metzgers flickered in my grip. Because now, in the background, I saw it, a figure in the twisted trees. Tall. Limbs too long. And its eyes, reflecting light that wasn't there. Ammy's tapes had warned about the meteorite, but nothing prepared me for the photos in Miskatonic's archives. Black and white shots of Nahum Gardner's farm, the ground blistered where the rock had fallen, and the notes scribbled beside them. Specimen exhibits paradoxical properties. Loses mass but refuses to cool. Advise immediate quarantine. I traced the professor's path to Nahum's property. The fertile gardens Ammy described were now the Blasted Heath. But in the archive's margins, I found a sketch of the meteorite's surface, and the symbols weren't geological. They were deliberate. Nahum's wife called it the hungry stone, said it whispered to their crops. We laughed till the pumpkins started moving at night. Then, the final photo, the rock split open. Inside, vein like muscle, pulsing faintly green. My phone buzzed, a voicemail from the university lab. The tech's voice cracked. We reran your sample. The meteorite isn't extraterrestrial. It's organic. And the DNA, it's hybrid. Plant, animal, and something unidentified. The archive lights flickered. In the photo's glare, I saw it. The split meteorite's core wasn't veins. They were roots. Lab's voicemail echoed in my rental car as I sped toward Arkham's new reservoir site. Human DNA from 1882. The implications twisted my gut, but the roots in that photo were worse. They didn't just look alive. They moved between frames like stop-motion footage. I found the construction crew clustered around a bulldozer, its blades sunk into mud that bubbled. The foreman wiped his face with a shaking hand. It's some kind of underground spring. Smells like rotting pumpkins. The water was viscous, streaked with tendrils of that same green from the meteorite. And the bones, God, not animal. Human, but the femurs were elongated, the skulls warped with odd protrusions. Nahum's youngest, his teeth fell out. New ones grew in. Sharp, said the well, told him to. Then my phone lit up with an email from the Miskatonic archivist. Attached, a scan page titled Gardner Family Tree, 1882 present. Every descendant had died before age 40. Cause of death, drowning, in their own homes. The bulldozer's engine suddenly died. The bubble stopped. Then the reservoir's surface hardened, like a scab, and something knocked from underneath. The lab smelled like burnt plastic and ozone. On the steel table, the meteorite fragment pulsed faintly, a sickly green glow that made my skin prickle. The Miskatonic scientists had drilled into it, revealing something worse than a rock. It's a nest, whispered Dr. Chun, her gloves trembling as she pointed to the hollow core. And whatever hatched here didn't need oxygen. The wall screen flickered with electron microscope images. The globule they found wasn't a mineral formation. Its surface was patterned, fine, spiraling grooves that matched the fractal growth of fungal mycelium. But the DNA sequencing kept glitching, the computer rejecting its own data. Nahum's apples grew fat as babies that year. Then we bit into them. They tasted like blood. Then the storm hit. Lightning crawled across the sky, forking not randomly, but purposefully striking the same spot 6 times in an hour. When it was over, the meteorite was gone. Not shattered, vaporized. But the security feed from the lab told a different story. In the last frame before the power died, the fragment melted, not from heat, like it was being called somewhere. My phone buzzed with a soil analysis alert from Nahum's farm. The toxicology report was simple. No foreign compounds detected. The fruit isn't poisoned. It's altered. And then the first apple rolled into view on the lab floor. Split open, pulsing. The apple moved in my hand. Not like a fruit rotting, like something inside flexing. The split skin peeled back further, revealing a wet, fibrous core. The tendrils weren't plant roots. They were nerves. Nahum's boy, Ephraim, he ate one. Said it tasted like mother's milk. Then his teeth. Oh Christ, his teeth. The lab doors hissed open behind me. Dr. Chun stood frozen, her face lit by the apple's bioluminescent glow. We found a reservoir crew. The construction site was cordoned off with quarantine tape, fluttering in the wind. The bulldozer sat abandoned, its treads clogged with blackened vines. And in the mud, footprints, but not human. The toes were too long, the arches split, as if the feet had unfolded mid-step.